Oil prices moving higher as tensions with Iran escalate. President Trump promising the U.S. will hit Iran hard after a surprise attack on American forces in Jordan. The U.S. and Saudi Arabia have responded with strikes on Iran-backed militias in Iraq, but former Energy Secretary Dan Brouillette says the biggest concern is the Strait of Hormuz.
I think it's time to stop the talking. We have to show some action. The president has suggested over and over again that there will be action. I think now is the time to actually do it. The strait needs to be open. Ships need to move. They need to move freely. And as we know, when that happens, the price of oil will drop, and it will drop fairly significantly.
Well, I think you remember that conversation, Larry. It feels like it's getting a little more unwieldy. I'm seeing more countries getting pulled. You know, you got Iraq in there, you got Saudi Arabia in there. Is that a problem? Do you think we're getting on the right course here,
I just
Larry?
want to say Dan Brouillette's one smart fellow. He was Rick Perry's deputy secretary of energy and then became the energy secretary. Very, very smart guy. So I think negotiations are futile. I don't think I'm breaking any new ground here when I say that Iran can never be trusted, at least the current regime. I think that General Keane, who's coming on our show tonight, he's my lead tonight, but he was on Stu Varney this morning, is calling now for major all-out war. I think he's right. I think we should take Karg Island and the other islands to close down their economy. I think Scott Bessent's economic fury operation, I assume it's been fully reopened. It never should have been shut down in the first place. The oil sales in the first place were unfortunate, but nonetheless, you live and learn. The fog of war is very difficult. I'm not second-guessing. I support the president entirely here. I just think negotiations are completely useless. The other thing I want to say is it is my great hope that between our intelligence, our secret intelligence agencies, CIA principally, you have Jay Clayton coming in as the new DNI, he's a very smart guy, and the Israeli Mossad and so forth. We must have a covert finding. I assume we have one, presidential finding, but we must have a clear covert finding to restore essentially the Reagan doctrine and help the freedom fighters in Iran. We must do this. Whatever, we must probably close down everything, bridges, tunnels, everything, so nobody can get in and out. And then the people in there, we have plenty of people of our own on the ground. Give them money if they need money, give them weapons if they have use for weapons, give them intelligence if they need intelligence. Try to
ask you a question?
We have to do that. There must be internal ways to overthrow the regime.
This sounds, I'm just going to speak from my generation, graduated, high school when we started to invade Iraq after 9/11. This sounds like a lot of what my generation does not want, Larry. So I'm just asking,
what part doesn't it want?
That sounds like a lot of U.S. involvement in the Middle East, a lot of meddling, a lot of swaying
no troops on the ground.
For regime, who we're helping, which side we're on for regime change. How am I wrong?
Well, look, if you want to let Iran get nuclear weapons, that's up to you. It's a free country. I beg to differ.
Okay.
I can't imagine anything worse than that. And we need to do whatever we can. We're not talking about a massive invasion like Iraq. This is different from Iraq, for example. This is more akin to what Reagan did to overthrow Soviet communism. We didn't fire a shot, and we didn't have any boots on the ground.
Okay.
But we did a lot of other things covertly to help freedom fighters, like Lech Walesa, for example, in Poland, but there were lots of others in Eastern Europe. Reza Pahlavi is somebody that might be an important leader, or others, all right, the Shah's son. But we need to identify through covert action. Look, we have the best secret intelligence services in the world. Let's put them to work. My guess is a presidential finding has already happened. But if it hasn't, it should happen forthwith. Otherwise, you can't. If you want to let them just do what they do, then you're going to take one of the greatest risks in the history of history.
Yeah.
And Trump deserves, my view, as I've said this many times here and a million other places, Trump deserves enormous credit for taking the actions that none of his predecessors would take, including Reagan, for that matter. And these things are hard to do. They're hard to do. And I don't blame him for diplomacy, okay? But at this point, the handwriting is more than on the wall.
We're getting a little tight on time, but I want to go back to Dan Brouillette. He's not denying any of what Larry's saying in terms of those activities, but he is saying you got to get, Hormuz has got to be the priority, because if you clear that out, it's easier to do all this stuff. If you don't, the American people are going to feel the ongoing effects of a Hormuz that's choked.
Well,
I just want to add the data from this morning. The inventories at the NYMEX delivery hub at Cushing, Oklahoma, have continued to fall and are now at 18.6 million barrels. There is no, that is, excuse me, that's tank bottom, and there's no shock absorber there. And then also, there have been some major refinery outages just in the last few days. 2 more refineries were hit by Ukrainian drones in Russia that took 400,000 barrels a day of crude refining capacity offline. The Saudis lost 400,000 barrels at Jizan, and there's a French refinery that has a 210,000 outage. So there is a vast chasm between product and crude that's going to widen.
But the price hasn't. I was more fearful. I thought the price
We're Jack, as you say, we're a long way from your $100 a barrel level.
Yeah, no, 85 for this kind of conflict is great.
Yeah.
All right, we got to go. Coming up, Larry Kudlow says Republicans have the winning economic message. So why aren't they selling it? I suspect he'll say the word swag somewhere in there. He'll explain after the break.
Riz.
Oh, now it's Riz.